Okay, so from time to time I return to Unreal Engine just to see if I'm able to do something. And it's great for prototyping things. Right from the box, it looks cool. You have access to a huge library, really top quality assets. If you pick them for 2 years, yes, I'm nerd, I know. I made a quick prototype of first-person tile dungeon crawler. I really spent maybe 6 hours on it, just from completely empty project, and I just switched mechanic from Unity. I made a controller, of which I will talk a bit later, and some simple interactions. This project also depends on quartz clock, which means gameplay can be audio driven. There are a couple of problems I need to talk. First, if you're a beginner and try to build something in Unreal, like a real game, you should be very careful about throwing assets in it because it will be pain to optimize the game later. Second, there are still issues with editor. For example, each time I open project, the link between the walking forward event and its logic is lost. I think I probably need to manually delete cache or to renew it or something like this. But generally speaking, an Unreal Editor was a problem and still is. So I moved logic of tile movements from Unity to Unreal pretty fast. The idea is to snap player movement to blocks. I test a bunch of games with movement mechanics which don't depend on grid, but using world coordinates, and it often causes misplacing of things and strange game design decisions, like you can walk on beds or this kind of thing. So it's not really looking great and feeling great. So what I did is I have a blueprint block actor which will be used to build a level. All of them are making a map where coordinates are unique. And the player moves only by using coordinates from these blocks. There is no raycasting, just ask a dictionary if there is a block in the direction the player headed. Interesting that it's allowed you to walk in different heights, not like you stick to one horizontal plane. Okay, first I made an enum of cardinal directions. Then there are a couple of functions. First for rotation, which returns coordinates according to cardinal directions, and second direction function, which gives a normalized integer vector depending on direction plane wants to go. It sounds like really clever normalized vector, but it just means one step into the direction we want. Like if it north, it's x1, y is 0, east it will be x0, and y is 1. So no fancy math there. And then I made a blueprint grid which finds all blocks and makes a map. Other blueprints have access to it. Because it's prototype, I decided to hardcore a usual scheme of keys. It needs to be done in a player controller, which should be linked to game mode, and put the nodes of keys I needed. Then finally I made a simple rotation and movement logic. I take player initial coordinates and add one or subtract one from x and y, depending on direction player walks, and ask the grid if there is a block at these coordinates. If answer is yes, it takes wall coordinate from block and set the actual location to them. The player teleports to new coordinates and save them in player actor. Movement is made by just adding sprint arm to the camera on player and actor. Strafe movement uses the same logic. Rotation is checking for player cardinal direction and sets rotation according to new cardinal rotation using that rotation function I told you. is we have a grid and limit players' movement within it. As you see, it doesn't block me from using terrain and different heights. Interesting that normal actor rotation can be used in actors with a character movement component. That is why I need to use set control rotation now. Okay, hope it was helpful and bye.